Hey guys, I'm Professor Kong and I'm going to be making my second Boomsday project video. The deck I want to talk about in this video is a Luna's Pocket Galaxy Spell Damage Elemental Mage. I want to go over some of the Mage Legendaries first because I just want to talk about all of the new Legendaries first, and one of the Legendaries is kind of the namesake for the deck. Luna's Pocket Galaxy is a 7 mana spell that makes every minion in your deck costs 1 mana. So the cards you want, when you're playing this deck, the cards you want that synergize with this is card draw. So immediately after playing Luna's Pocket Galaxy, since it doesn't make the minions in your hand cost 1, you want to start drawing. And actually Mage is getting an insane draw engine in Boomsday. One of my favorite cards, even in the previous expansions for Mage, was Bonfire Elemental. This is like a 5 and a 5/5 Elemental that draws you a card if you played an Elemental last turn. I always thought that this was like a really strong replacement for Azure Drake, and one of the reasons why I always wanted to dip into Elementals previously. Luna's Pocket Galaxy really gives you an incentive to just go Elementals. Some of the other mechanics I wanted to use in this deck are some of the new spell damage cards. These new spell damage cards like Cosmic Anomaly and Celestial Emissary, one of the good things about them is that they're both elementals. So it's really easy to get this elemental synergy. The spells I'm using to kind of synergize with the high spell damage minions are the new spells Shooting Star and Unexpected Results, and one of the old spells Arcane Explosion. These cards, I feel like these AoE, like these cheap AoE spells, really scale well with the additional spell damage. Since we're running so much draw in this deck, I feel like we don't really want to go for the big spell route, things like Flame Strike, Blizzard, Meteor. I felt like these cheap, kind of like more tempo spells that synergize with these elementals could give this kind of, this is definitely a more tempo-oriented mage compared to the standard Jaina big spell control mage, even though we're still running Jaina. So it'll really give us some different gameplay mechanics with these new cards. The next card I want to talk about is Stargazer Luna. This is actually the other mage legendary that's coming out with Boomsday. As a 3 mana 2/4, the stat line is pretty good. 4 health is extremely relevant in Hearthstone compared to 3, with it being able to dodge so many AoE effects like Dustbringer and Hellfire. So Stargazer Luna is actually, when I saw this card, I kind of thought at the time that it was kind of like an Aluneth that you can control with like an on-off switch, because Aluneth is such a strong mage card, but there's no kind of off switch for Aluneth, at least before this expansion. There's actually kind of an off switch with Aluneth in this expansion. I thought about using it with the new Pirate card, but I decided that it was kind of too out there. It takes 3 turns to blow up your Aluneth like that anyways, so I thought it was kind of a little too troll. But anyways, if you're playing Stargazer Luna after Luna's Pocket Galaxy, you're kind of able to just like draw through as many cards as you want with each minion, cycling for 1 mana. You can just keep playing your top deck minion. You can basically like draw as many cards as you want almost. This deck, after you play Luna's Pocket Galaxy, I felt like since you're a minion deck, you need ways to close the game out, because if you're just placing bundles of stats on the board every turn, you're always going to be weak to like Brawl, Twisted Nether type cards. And since we're not running Damage Burn, I wanted ways to really close out the game with minions. So some of the minions I'm using for that purpose especially are, one is Alexstrasza. This is like a cornerstone of kind of like these minion focused decks, because even small boards can threaten lethal with Alexstrasza. You just, as long as you have even a small minion lead, you can Alexstrasza and then attack with your board, almost immediately killing them. Cards like Antonidas are really good with Luna's Pocket Galaxy and synergize with our cheap spells very well that we're using instead of the big spell mage package. This is actually one of the reasons to play this deck as well, because Antonidas is so good with the cheap spells. cards like another card I'm using for kind of like being a bomb, on the minion in front of this is Lich King. It's hard to go wrong playing Lich King. It always gives you it's an 8/8 taunt, so big dude that gives you a lot of ways to close up the game with the spells. Archmage Arugel, this is one of the Mage Legendaries from the previous expansion that hasn't been used too much. I just never felt like I had the home in the right kind of deck until now. Since this deck is running so much card draw, then you can oftentimes just play Archmage Arugel and start playing card draw immediately, and actually you can start getting insane value with the duplicate effect it has. So this is actually one of the decks I'm kind of most excited about. Mage has always been one of my favorite classes, and I felt like every kind of iteration of Mage I played was never really able to utilize like the full arsenal of Mage. It's either like too aggro where you're only playing an aggro game, or it's kind of like like too slow and grindy where you're kind of opening yourself up to getting comboed out, and it's just if you're trying from a pure value perspective, not a lot of the games ending in your favor in this kind of meta. So I really feel like this is almost like the first kind of Mage outside of maybe a period of time where people were playing like this like dump their burn Mage, where you get to really utilize like Mage's full arsenal of like burn and control, and like you can have like aggressive and kind of like value games. So I'm really excited about this deck as well.